and was certainly not in the fashion that we expect from the LATAM representative.
Especially since this is the first year we've seen all of Latin America unified under one banner, and with Isurus being the super team that has led that charge, you'd expect them to be really challenging for that first seed in their group.
Yeah, absolutely. And they bring Yeti back in as the coach as well. You know, they've got all the pieces that you would expect to be able to have a successful run here at this Worlds. But this is really now the game they have to turn their attention to. They can't look past it. They can't be thinking about what did happen on day number 1. And I feel like against Detonation Focus Me, you have to get a good draft.
Yeah, a good draft definitely will give you a huge amount of dividends. We are into picks and bans. Heimerdinger, Thresh, and the Nocturne removed there, something we saw DFM use to beat Splice earlier. Lucian, Yasuo, and Pantheon taken away by Destination Focus Me.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, Kayle not touched, neither is the Ezreal, and it was Warangulus' Ezreal that really did pay dividends in the late game for Isurus Gaming. They had kind of no idea what was going on in the map state, but they did turn to their superstar AD carry to be able to overturn what was really a poor performance up until that point.
But it was only in the last game that we saw how impactful Xayah can be when you get her to 2-3 items. King absolutely shredding through on that pick. Evie is once again going to get his signature Gnar, undefeated on that in the LJL, and now they're going to steal away the Rakan to make sure that you don't have that Xayah Rakan bot lane on the side of Isurus.
Yeah, absolutely, but it's a little bit interesting to me, Medic, because when you think of Rakan, you generally think it pairs very well with Xayah, and then if it's not Xayah, you would say potentially Lucian is the second best. Both of those champions now removed from this champion select.
I entirely agree with you, but I'm thinking one other thing that it pairs well with, a Galio. If the Rakan jumps into the backline, the Galio can then follow it up and you get a huge amount of CC. Team that up with a Gnar who can be jumping in. Detonation Focus Me might be going for a similar composition to the one that beat Splice.
Yeah, absolutely. It was all about the press 6 and dive backline and make it as simple as possible for the DFM lineup, and they were able to execute on the key picks, you know, getting rid of Xerxes, the jungler, being able to turn towards major objectives like the Baron, force the Splice lineup to come to them and make the hard choices.
And Isurus Gaming will lock in their next 2 picks, the Gangplank for the top lane we expect, and the Gragas in the jungle for Oddie.
Now, this is a great sign for Oddie because he had a terrible Gragas game day 1. He was not able to hit a single cast for majority of that mid game. A lot of party casts being thrown around in the words of Egypt. However, this time around, he is showing that, you know, he's good on the pick. It was just an off game, mentally recovered, and he's going to be back trying it again here.
Oh, you could say it's a good sign. You could also say it's a very bad sign for the team. It's like, oh, let's pick this thing that we were really bad on last time. They did end up taking the win versus Detonation Focus Me the first time these 2 teams met, and now we jump on into the second ban phase. Skarner was the final lock here for Steel.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think when you have a look at this composition, a lot of control so far set up for Detonation Focus Me. We do have to talk about Evie's Gnar. You already mentioned it, undefeated, but more importantly, you know, picking up solo kills against Chachi, who is a good top laner in his own right. So Evie is certainly one of the star carries of this player. I think they rely on the top laner to be able to generate 1v1 pressure. And that is kind of a, like, topic we don't talk about much in League of Legends anymore. The map state has been so fluid, the ability to move up and down Summoner's Rift, but this really is a team that does like to isolate their top laner, split map, and allow Evie to go to work.
One of the strongest performers in the Japanese region. Now we do see that next phase of bans coming through. Ryze taken away, the LeBlanc removed as well. Galio from Isurus Gaming. They don't want to be on the receiving end of what Splice had earlier. We'll see what their final ban is here. It's the Karma in the end.
Okay, so maybe expecting Udapon to go towards a traditional AD carry. He's already played Ashe, however, into Xayah. It can be a tough matchup. Ezreal, however, kind of safe.
Super safe.
Maybe too safe for my liking in what is an elimination game right now for Detonation Focus Me.
I mean, but Detonation Focus Me have historically been a team that was willing to go to late game, willing to take team fights as the game progressed, and Ezreal is one of those champions that's very safe in the lane, and then at 2-3 items can dominate a team fight.
However, I do feel like they're lacking just a little bit of damage at the moment. Ezreal, if he's able to have the perfect setup, can provide that. However, when you have a look at the tools they have, Cask, Gangplank Ultimate, not to mention the barrels are going to come out. Now you have to deal with the Nautilus, who's one of the best champions at locking down those long-range annoying carries. I feel like Seros has to be on damage this game, and that's not necessarily what we see from the mid laner from the LJL. We're used to seeing things like Zillion, like Karma, more of the control style.
Utility mid laners is what Seros tends to be on, but we have seen him on the Nocturne mid once already this tournament. Can't play it here, of course, because Nocturne's banned away. And there's some more damage on the side of Isurus Gaming. Seiya bringing out his legendary legendary Syndra pick as the final lock.
And really showing their hand right now. We're going to play a pressure comp. We think we win all 3 lanes, and it's answered with a Ziggs. The first one we've seen, and this is what I like to see. The LJL, they play spicy picks. They're not afraid to test the meta and say, you know what? Even though this isn't globally strong, we believe that we can utilize it. And now they have a very good push-poke comp that if Isurus Gaming bots your dive,
oh, you've got a huge amount of damage coming out from Detonation Focus Me. Siege and Poke from that lineup. Of course, Ziggs and Ezreal are so good at keeping you at long range, and then you have the chase potential of a Skarner and a Rakan. That Detonation Focus Me's comp, if it works the way they want it to, is incredible. But look at the displacement coming out from Isurus. It's going to be very hard to find those key engagers.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I feel it's especially difficult for Ziggs, right? I picture the way that these team fights will work out is that Steel is going to have to protect Seros with the ultimate. This isn't going to be Steel trying to dive in and grab someone. It's going to be looking for Oddie to make the mistake, you know, not nail the cask and then be able to grab him and blow him up, because Seros's job in this composition is to dish out that damage. He's going to have to put himself in some dangerous situations, and I feel like if Oddie and Saya play this well, this should be a nightmarish early game for Seros.
Definitely should. Isurus trying to get through the early game with a lead, get ahead early on if they can. Detonation Focus Me will be trying to drag this one out as long as possible. It's all on the line for the LJL representatives here. A loss means they are out of the tournament. Isurus Gaming, of course, looking to take that win, looking to get themselves to a 2-1 scoreline before their fatal matchup later today to see if they can grab that first seat.
Yeah, exactly right. And you know, DFM, they did the dirty work for Isurus Gaming. They took down Splice. They made it possible for Isurus to reclaim that top spot. But first, you have to get through the Japanese reps.
Well, Isurus managed it last time. It was a drawn-out affair, 39 minutes on the clock, and really came down to one Baron fight that Detonation Focus Me started. Let's talk a little bit about how these teams want to play through the early game. As you said, Isurus will be looking to focus that mid lane.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that when you have a look at Isurus's comp, right, you have Oddie and Saya that can put out so much pressure. You get a little bit of mid lane shove. You start controlling that bottom side jungle. All of a sudden, Steel, who does want to put the camps on cooldown early, does want to be able to push the pace on the Skarner to get towards the level 6. Does have to start making the choice. Do I defend my laners? Do I farm my jungle? And that's when Gragas can really start taking over an early game.
Oddie will be trying to steal away as much of... Oh, I didn't mean that. I apologize. Steal away as much of the Detonation Focus Me's jungle as possible. Try and keep him locked down. For now, Utapon is just going to play Bouncer down towards this bottom side. Claim a Spire for himself. Early ward from Slow in the river will mean they'll know if any shenanigans are going on early on.
And I'm interested to see how DFM play this bottom lane, because whilst it isn't necessarily a pushing lane, you know, you're into Targons, you're into Xayah as well, who can fight back. Ezreal is one of those champions that if you start in lane, if you start using your ability on the wave, you can decide when you want to push or when you want to allow it to, you know, be able to come back into you. And I feel like they have to be able to generate some form of pressure. Now, Isurus Gaming know that as well. You can see on the minimap right now that they have actually started in lane. Yep. This guarantees them the push. This means it's going to have to come back off the turret before DFM get any form of control. And with the Gragas potentially pathing down towards it, could set up a gank as well off that bounce.
Definitely could, and you've got an aggressive summoner on the side of Isurus for that 2v2 or 3v2 fight. Gang is running the heal, both AD carries taking a teleport in this matchup. We have seen a little bit of a mix between AD carries, whether they want to take TP or a combat summoner. Voices are divided backstage in the cast room. Atlas says, you know, TP's always the best. I have some dissenting opinions, but I'm not smart enough to voice them most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, when I have a look at it and the pace that the game should be played right now, TP just seems so great to get to those fights, you know, the Herald flip. However, you're right. If you think that there is a skill discrepancy, if you think that you can beat down on people in the laning phase, why would you not want the heal? Why would you not want the ignite to potentially look for those outplays? So I see why in play-in stage especially, we're seeing a big diversity of summoner spells down in that bottom lane.
For now, both the AD carries will decide they want to just be able to get back into lane that little bit quicker. Of course, Ezreal getting an early Sheen, getting an early Tear, and then teleporting back into the lane without losing too many minions is a boon for that champion. Meanwhile, in the top lane, not too much to talk about so far. A little bit of a CS lead for Bugax, but he is pushing the way forward into Evie. He'll catch that and has shown us, even when he falls behind on Gnar early on, he's still very good at getting back into the game.
And now let's take a look at this wave positioning. You see Warangulus and Slow, they've been able to get control of this wave. They're going to look to push this one in. That will allow Oddie to secure himself bottom lane crab. all of a sudden you have so much pressure on this bottom side of the map. Can you withstand the dive? And you know that this wave is now going to push back unless Isurus Gaming continue to hit the wave. That means you have to be very aware of where the Gragas is right now if you are Utapon.
And the thoughts going through Steel's head as well, do I go down towards that bottom side and protect my bot lane? Do I play around mid and try and catch out Seiya, who is harassing Seros pretty well? Or do I say, I know Isurus aren't going to play the top side of the map, I can try and catch out that Gangplank and then get Evie ahead?
But you think you know they're not playing the top side of the map. But Gangplank has push. Syndra has push. Right now, if you're Steel, there is no good option for you. You're trying to stay off vision so you can get the second spawn of your camps without giving away exactly what you're looking for. And Oddie is using this to go for a very greedy path. Normally by this stage, we've seen the Gragas go back, pick himself up some boots, try and get the Predator online for the earlier ganks. But instead, this is just a hard farm jungle coming out from Oddie.
Sitting about a camp ahead of Steel. Both of them will back at the same time. Expect to see those Predator boots coming out from Oddie, Stalker's Blade and Predator on the side of Steel as well. And we'll see which jungler can have an impact on the map first. An incredible hook there by Slogan, the landlord to Utapon. Gang gets the knockup and they will be able just to escape back towards their tower.
And across the board, map pressure is just so high right now for DFM. And you have to think, you know, they are the scaling comp. They expected this, but if one area cracks, it becomes so easy to stagger these objectives. We're going to have a Drake coming up quite soon on Summoner's Rift. And I love that Ender and Betty talk about this so much. You know, the ability to take 7-minute Drakes into 10-minute Rift Heralds back into the flip. There's a little bit top lane.
Yeah, Bugak's going to try and trade on this one. Evie's getting a lot of damage down. The wallop doesn't quite connect, and Bugak's will turn around, but he doesn't really have too much mana, so it will be difficult for him to continue that trade.
And a big wave now pushing into Bugak, so he's going to have to make the call. Do I back away? Do I use my teleport? Or do I allow Oddie to come in for this gank? Does look like he's sticking around.
Now, Evie does still have the flash. You can see Oddie coming in with the Predator. We wondered which jungler would have the impact first. There's a huge minion wave flashing from Oddie. The chase is there. Evie goes down. And Oddie in a solo kill top lane.
And despite a bad day one, Oddie comes back and says, I can play this champion. Picks up first blood for his squad.
That's incredible stuff. Look at the wave that Bugak's going to be able to farm unimpeded there in the top lane. Evie's going to have to burn his TP. Bugak still has both his summoners. Can back and get the teleport out. Steel's just trying to face off onto Oddie here, but the push, as we've talked about so many times, is in favor of Isurus. So Seiya comes across, and it's a scuttle crab to Isurus Gaming.
And how can you contest any of River right now if you're Steel? You have to be able to slink back to that jungle. He is only a couple of camps away from the 6. As we take another look at this, this is just a great prediction flash. He uses all the movement speed, waits for the flash to come through, actually. So that's not mechanics. That's just big brain coming through from Oddie.
Good reactions as well. We'll give him some mechanical reaction, a little bit of bonus there. Seros knocked into the tower here by Seiya, who just continues to harass him, but both of them have burnt their teleports. Looks like they just got a Sapphire Crystal each, a Dark Seal for Seros on the Ziggs.
And this is the area of Ziggs games I don't like. When you're a little bit low and you have to start farming with the Q, you automatically push the wave against yourself.
That's true.
And then you just kind of dig the hole a little bit deeper every single time. However, Seros actually has to be very aware that Oddie now has level 6. He's in one-shot territory from a Gragas and a Syndra, so options starting to become a little bit dangerous for DFM.
Steel does still have the Predator boots getting up to level 6, so could look towards that mid lane. Oddie actually here already. 6 will catch out Steel on the blue. Steel forced away. Oddie has his smite, so does Steel, but Oddie, that level advantage with Seiya coming across. Isurus using pressure in every single lane to get whatever they want on the map.
And this is why we talk about priority so much in League of Legends. The ability to push a wave and move first. That's what we're looking at. And every time Oddie is challenging Steel, you see that it is either Seiya or his bottom lane that is able to cheat up into the river, give him that extra number. And it's honestly making Steel's job a nightmare.
It's just impossible for Steel to do anything. Not even yet level 6, so doesn't have that Impale. Can't join a fight too easily. Maybe when he gets that, we'll look for the first gank. It's kind of like Nocturne. You look for that first gank, see how effective he can be. Because if he does find a kill, if he finds a couple of plates in a lane, he can turn this back in Detonation Focus Me's favor.
And the other thing I love about Skarner, especially when you're playing against things like Syndra, is you force the choice of, are you going to buy yourself a QSS? If you're a Syndra, that's the last thing you want to be itemizing towards. But sometimes, if the game gets a little bit away from you, you have no other choice but to itemize into what is an AD defensive item. You know, Zhonya's not going to save you against a Skarner. You're just going to sit there and you're going to be the sitting duck. So I do think that even though Steel hasn't got many ganks out yet, hasn't had all that much pressure, he still does have, you know, the tax that you have to pay whenever Skarner is on Summoner's Rift.
And for the now, obviously, no one has paid that QSS tax. It would be a little bit early. First item QSS, I'm pretty sure I've seen that it's somewhere in the world. And not too common a build, but 8 minutes in, there's a slight gold lead here for Isurus Gaming, about 800 gold ahead. First Dragon's a cloud, not too impactful, but it looks like Oddie is playing towards it right now. They'll take the Scuttle Crab, and then with pushing bot and pushing mid, they might just look for that objective.
Yeah, and I mean, Oddie can just solo it out whenever he wants, doesn't really need his lanes to come over and have pressure. Want to also point out the fact that Ceres is going for a Catalyst of the Ages. Not necessarily the item we see all that much on mid laners nowadays.
Yeah. Also a slightly outdated item name, I'm afraid. That's It's Catalyst of the Eons, I believe.
Sorry.
I'm going to check to make sure, because otherwise I will be hard flamed by Twitch chat, but there's a gank happening right now, up towards the top lane. Steel coming in with the Predator, has the Impale.
This has to work.
The Cannon Barrage, Evie almost up towards the Mega Gnar, knocks Boogax into the wall, but a great flash away. Boogax impaled, the kill will come down. DFM are on the board, but the rest of Isurus are coming on their way up. Oddie has the cast, has the damage onto Steel already, puts down a single barrel, the cast, Steel flashes away, Seiya not there in time, but there's the knockback, and into the mini-Gnar he goes, the unleashed power's not enough, the orb does not connect, and DFM get out alive.
And again, it's the two veterans from Isurus Gaming that are not able to clean up. It's a successful gank for Steel into that top lane. I said it had to work because the early rotation was there, but well navigated by Evie and Steel to get the 1-for-0 and get out.
I thought after they burnt so much killing Boogax that they would struggle, but it's Gang in the bottom lane. Rakan is too squishy to be face-checking bushes like that.
Yeah, just a little bit of a magic trick. Now you see him, now you don't. Very nice trap set up there from Slow and Warangulus. And this is the late game insurance policy. This is not necessarily the lane that we expect to generate, huge kills. However, it is the area of the map that you look towards as the game progresses. You can already see Warangulus with that 3,600 gold sitting at the top of the board. Certainly where the carry of Isurus Gaming wants to be.
And he's the player that the team relied on during their regular season as well. He was first in KDA, first in CS difference at 15, first in gold difference at 15 in his region. And we saw the first time these two teams met, he was the guy carrying them when they got towards the late game.
Yeah, and more of a new carry coming out of Latin America. People would remember White Lotus, this guy that was able to step up at MSI on the international stage. However, this is kind of the first year where fans have been really content with who they're sending in the 80 carry position, where Angulus has made that name for himself domestically. You see the swap has come out with all of that first move and push that has been able to be generated. And Evie, you might be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, Slow has the flank position here. Evie's going to try and jump away, has the Gnar to try and knock him into the wall. The dredge line does connect. Boogax still on the chase, looking for the bounce, can't quite land them. Wanchun's going to flash the Gnar into the wall. Slow has to flash away, and now Boogax is tanking the tower, and Evie shoots.
He's got him!
He was undefeated on the Gnar in the LJL. You can't do that to this man. He will outplay you. Oddie flashes in, Evie tries to jump away, but Oddie will take the kill in the end.
Okay, so the cleanup is there, but it still took 4 members, and plates are falling in the bottom lane. In the meantime, they will pop Rift Herald out to try and even up this trade, but what a play from Evie.
Oh, just impeccable stuff from Evie. The plates will fall in the top lane, as you say. Bot lane, Cloud Drake went. Detonation Focus Me are looking for that third plate on the tower as well, and it means Isurus will have a gold lead coming into the next portion of the map after using the Rift Herald. Might even get the first tower here. I think they will. No real contest coming out, and Evie doesn't have his teleport in time to get to this tower. First tower of the game goes over to Isurus. They have a 2,000 gold lead at the 12-minute mark.
Yeah, and it's not only the fact that he didn't really have it there. It's Oddie hasn't shown on the map yet. You haven't seen where Slow is. You assume they're recalls, but you can see Oddie's still sitting here. There's a big wave stacking in. Slow now going to rejoin. That's a Gangplank ult bottom. There is something very fishy going on right now. You can see that Evie kind of knows something's up.
Yeah, spider senses are tingling. For now, nothing doing for Isurus Gaming. They won't go for the fight. But let's talk about this play up towards the top lane, because you saw it coming and Evie was quick to react.
Yeah, well, Slow uses all of his time to go into the top side, get some good vision down, but then says, you know what, I'm behind this guy, I'll go for the gank. Evie, however, with a huge outplay. Ulti into flash, locks Boogax underneath that turret, and the additional shot is going to be there. I like the fact that Oddie commits to this, however. Being able to trade back is going to be so much of the damage if he goes full AP. We can already see what Gragas is doing, and it guarantees damage on the top lane turret. If you don't get that play, it's a kill, it's a dragon, it's equal turret plates nearly on the bottom side of the map, so you got to be able to go for those plays.
You definitely do. We talked about earlier on what Isurus would want to do in the early game. Said, we want to get Seros out of the game, maybe look at getting your bot lane ahead. They've managed to get War Angelus in a good position, but a lot of this has been about Oddie finding kills on Evie in the top lane, catching him out, playing towards the side of the map perhaps we wouldn't have expected as much.
Yeah, exactly right. And that's because Bugax isn't necessarily known as the best top laner over there in Latin America. You know, as far as native talent goes, is certainly up there. However, you know, Korean imports coming into the region does bolster that particular role. However, I've been impressed by Bugax so far this tournament. I think it, once again, has been that mid-jungle duo letting down Isurus Gaming. Bugax has had some good performances. And on his gangplank, he's going to be able to hold down the fort very well. We've talked about this, but weak side gangplank into Evie is going to be a nightmare to deal with as the game progresses. The wave clear, the global ultimate, the oranges to be able to escape ganks, doesn't even have to go for that QSS. Really is just a nightmare to be able to shut down.
All about the ability to impact the lane or the game without having to be there. It means that you can clear out waves on one side of the map and still have that ultimate affecting a team fight. Now it looks like Isurus Gaming are going to play towards the bottom side. There's no dragon. That was taken by Detonation Focus Me, but there'll be an ocean in about 2.5 minutes. And Oddie has had total control of these scuttle crabs. Whenever he's wanted them, with his lanes pushed up, he's managed to shot Steel out of the game early on, really.
However, Steel has done a really good job now of consolidating farm and being able to kind of cross-map Oddie. You're right, he can't fight him right now. There's just too much wave pressure in the favor of Isurus Gaming, but I do like the fact that Steel has identified that and instead looked to trade. He's equal levels. He would be close on gold, and now potentially looking for a play.
Flashes straight in. Slow has nowhere to go. Seros gets his first kill of the game.
And this is just a little bit of undisciplined play coming through for Isurus. When you hold pressure for that long, the waves will eventually bounce back. You're going to have to collect them at some point, Medic. And, you know, they just overstay their welcome in the jungle and still makes them pay.
And that's exactly what you can do on Oscana. You're never out of the game because all you need is flash ult. And as long as your team has the damage to back you up, it works incredibly well. Utapon now stacking up his mana. Mune has a Sheen, Rod of Ages, finished on Seros. It's 2 stacks on that right now.
Is it still called Rod of Ages?
It's Catalyst of the Aeons, or of Aeons and Rod of Ages.
Okay.
Because Aeon sounds fancier, Spawn.
It does, but how do you go from Aeons to Ages afterwards?
Well, maybe an Aeon is shorter than an age.
All right, didn't think of that. Yeah. Moving on.
Where do you want to move on to?
I don't know, actually. When you have a look at it, you know, first items coming through for the rest of the map as well. You're going to have Crypt Build being picked up for Xayah. I think that Xayah is a really interesting champion. I was talking to Jad about this a lot earlier, but she kind of solves her own deficiency. She's very short range, but she pumps out a lot of damage. Yeah. So the counter to that should be that she's easier to pick, but then her ulti is so annoying to deal with. Steel also setting up topside, doesn't have the ulti, so this is going to be a slightly weaker game.
Bugax still has flash. Boomerang is going to connect, but the Impale isn't there, as you say, and Bugax can just walk underneath the tower.
However, it does deny a little bit of CS. Looks like that's pushing into Evie right now. We'll have to look for a different area of the map. Ocean Dragon coming up and available means that Evie kind of wants to stick around, wants to hold Evie into this lane, and then be able to use the Gangplank ultimate down bottom to try and force some form of mismatched number team fight.
I'm really intrigued by sort of the map state right now. Usually what we see is when a tower falls, you then start to see lanes rotate out. AD carry goes towards the mid lane. You put your GP down towards the bottom lane. Maybe put Sayar on the Syndra up towards top and just collect the farm. Here, Isurus Gaming have kind of opted into just continuing the laning phase, even though they've got that first tower.
Yeah, and that's an interesting decision. I think that it is because Seros would be able to hold mismatched numbers in the mid lane on Ziggs, especially given the fact that ult is still available. So I think that right now Isurus Gaming want to continue to push him bottom side and control this river and kind of try and force the Ziggs away from the turret that way. Hasn't worked because the last pick came across, but now Dragon is spawned. You do kind of force Detonation Focus Me to come to you.
Super Mega Infernal bonus going to land. Steel looking for the Predator into Impale. Saya forced away, and now the Ocean Dragon. It's started up by Detonation Focus Me. Bugax has the Cannon Barrage if he wants to go in. Oddie there as well. With the Cask, looking for the fight. Slow on the front line, 3,000 HP left on the Dragon. So
I think they're giving.
Focus Me get this. Yeah, they're taking some time to get some bot lane tower damage. Isurus Gaming trading that for the Ocean Dragon, second Dragon of the game for DFM.
And that's why Oddie's positioning is on the bottom of this Dragon. He's trying to affect this collapse coming out, however, he might not be able to.
Slow with the depth charge into the dredge line. Here comes the bullfight. Nah, back into the water, but Oddie is on a killing spree already. Gang having to jump away. Sayer onto the back line. Look at the damage onto Evie. He's on the front, but Oddie with the stopwatch just in time will survive. Evie goes down. Utapon has to flash away, and Isurus Gaming 5 members strong are going to push in for the spot lane tower.
And a great trap laid there for Isurus Gaming. They will be able to push in bottom. You see top lane also wave in their favor. This is just another one of those setups where Isurus Gaming saw what was coming. They knew they wanted to collapse on the bottom lane. And then Oddie plays perfect goalkeeper. Look at him, keeping 2 members away, delaying. And they've already made the decision to fight because Slow hasn't shown himself. He wasn't a ward, but he's able to turn this early teleport in. The bouncy castle is there, and they're able to pick up the kills.
Perfect Feather Storm from War Angelus as well to dodge away from the Gnar. Yutapon almost gets the damage down here in the end, but Oddie wasn't in range for the True Shot Barrage.
Now, correct me if I was wrong, Medic, but this was the matchup we saw where it was Ryze into Karma, and Saya was not able to land a Ryze Q.
No, last time it was Kale. Oh no, it was Ryze into Karma, yes, you were right, yes.
Okay,
was top.
This time around, Saya is playing Syndra.
Yes.
And that was as close to a free kill as you get on
flashed.
the Lady with the Spheres.
Okay. Yutapon flashed.
Couldn't land it again.
Yeah, sure, but
He had 2 shots at it. One was flash, one was dodged.
okay. We'll see. We'll keep track of it.
All right.
Keep track of it, because I was more excited by the kills that were happening than the misses. I'll be honest. That's usually how my mind works.
Just 0-0-0 looks very strange for the legendary mid laner from Latin America.
It does. The 11-time Latin American champion, not having yet picked up a kill this game.
Not an assist.
Nor an assist. You are correct, but perhaps I'm just more lenient with my mid laners than you are. We'll see. We'll see, Spawn. We'll see as the game goes on.
Certainly will. However, 20 minutes, Baron is about to come up and available, Betty.
I feel you're being really mean to this guy.
Am I?
He's fighting in Worlds play-ins. He's had a good performance. Yes, he hasn't got a kill yet, but he's still doing a good job working with his jungler, getting Scuttle crowd control, doing everything he needs to do. And you're like, oh, he missed a Q.
All right, I'll try and be nicer. I'll try my best. I will try my best. However, you're right. His lane priority early, his ability to be able to attack side lanes, it has been quite good. It was a good idea on the teleport.
It was.
All things considering.
Yes. And he did some damage. His damage numbers will be up. Okay, so for now, Isurus Gaming have taken the bot lane tower. They are 4,000 gold ahead at the 20-minute mark.
Yep.
Baron is going to spawn. You can see Isurus have a little bit of vision control around here, but Detonation Focus Me realize they want to get their own wards around the Baron area to make sure that Isurus can't just sneak it away.
Yeah, and they need to get there first. That's when you play things like the Rakan as well as Ascana, you want to be coming from Fog of War. You don't want to be able to be body blocked by someone like Oddie, play the goalkeeper. So I like the fact that they're willing to sack, that top lane farm. They were able to sneak in, get some vision. However, it hasn't been enough. You see off these waves, Isurus Gaming playing very disciplined. They're just waiting for numbers on side. They saw the Ezreal, they saw the Gnar. Now they'll move back in, reclaim control of that area.
My main concern for Isurus, though, is you can't really start Baron into an Ezreal and a Ziggs, because you'll just get poked out doing the Baron, and the Baron's basically Detonation Focus Me 6-man. So you have to get total vision control and then wait for a pick, wait for a catch, look for Oddie to try and take someone out. And Detonation Focus Me have done a relatively good job this tournament of clearing out vision, at least in their own jungle.
Yeah, furthermore, you can't really siege turrets into a Ziggs, right? Yeah. So you're just going to be stuck in this map state where, because you didn't use Herald mid, you used it top to pick up the plates, you can't really knock down that mid lane turret. You can't take full control of top side jungle whilst mid tier 1 is up and available. The creep wave is just too short of a bounce. So I do think that this enters an area of the game where you have to get creative. You have to try and cheat tempo with Oddie. You have to try and blow someone up. He does have the items to be able to go for it on this Gragas. If there is a pick between Saya and Oddie, maybe some spheres hit this time around, they should be able to siege down one of these turrets.
They definitely should, and I would like to see Isurus go for one of those picks. Cheating tempo, making a play sort of out of the usual play order of the game. Because usually you see one team push forward, the other team then pushes back when they reset. And here Isurus are trying to push forward when Detonation Focus Me are expecting them to be on the back foot.
And you can see that they have the same idea because they've actually put their duo top lane, where normally at this stage of the game, Warangulus and Slow would be holding down that mid lane. That means that they have more faith in Warangulus as damage at this stage of the game has got those 2 massive item spikes. However, of the wall,
good flash away there by Steel. Here comes Gang looking for the chase with a knockback. Couldn't get in there with a grand entrance. Saya on point with the scatter the weak, and he hit that one spawn.
Oddie's in trouble.
On the chase onto Oddie. The knock away, though, with the explosive cast will keep him safe. Now, Angelus is in a very odd position at the top side of this fight. Was looking for the tower, and Detonation Focus Me haven't really responded to him. They're pushing towards mid lane. Now, Angelus is on a control ward.
And
he's up there.
All of that was possible due to Evi's rotation. We saw that it was Bluegax actually going for a recall, wanted to pick up his BF sword, whereas Evi just ran straight up the river. Gave them that mismatch numbered team fights. the channel of teleport is so long that you can generate that pick with something like a Skana. It was well navigated from Saya, however now without Flash doesn't have the same ability to be able to get out of that one next time.
Second Ocean Drake of the game does go down to Detonation Focus Me. Still a 4,000 gold lead here for Isrus. True Shot Barrage, thank you very much for following at Observers, but it didn't really do too much. Connected onto a couple of people. Wait, we should praise him for hitting that, shouldn't we? Because if we praise Saya for when he hits Qs, we should definitely praise Yudapon for hitting his ultimate.
I like the idea behind it. However, it is once again Isrus Gaming just continuing this push on lanes that don't involve Ziggs. Now, it's not really an issue until the base is broken, as long as the tier 1 mid turret is up. And you can see that Ziggs is just like a turret right now himself. He's not letting the creep wave get anywhere near it. And the scary thing is when you're playing against a champion like Ziggs, is if he is allowed to have access to your turrets, he just shreds through them at an insane rate.
The satchel charge does so much damage to towers.
So if you make a mistake at this stage of the game, even though Isrus Gaming has played so well so far, then it can turn into a Baron, it can turn into turrets, and the gold can start swinging massively because no turrets have been taken from DFM yet.
Last time these two teams played, it was DFM making a mistake at Baron that meant that Isrus took the game, and that was at the 35-minute mark. Isrus had options to make plays, had options to speed up the game, and hadn't gone for them. So that is why there is a little bit of concern in our voice when we see Detonation Focus Me holding out the game this long, stalling the game this long, because Isrus haven't always shown us they're the most proactive of teams.
However, this game I feel like they have done a really good job of being proactive. I think that they've tried to generate those leads, so not for lack of trying. I think that this is more DFM taking a page out of maybe Mammoth's playbook, where they're just like, all right, nothing's happening. We're packing up shop. We're waiting for items. You know, if we get Ezreal towards that 4-item mark, he is going to start being that mobile, DPS-heavy champion. You know, people are going to have to start paying attention to Seros's damage as well.
We are starting to see some QSS taxes being paid. Oddie has one. There's one on War Angelus as well. Yet to see one on Saya, which is a big talking point. If he gets caught out, it's very difficult for the Syndra to get herself out of that sort of situation. And now DFM once again just get control of the river. And
I think that's why they're only playing 2 lanes right now. And the first mistake maybe coming out from Seros. He wasn't here to answer the wave at neutral. Has to use the ult.
Still 2 minions there, though, and they should be able to take this one down pretty easily. Still going in. Oddie with a straight away with the QSS. Captain Jack has made his way back to Worlds. Now the TP coming in from Bugax, but Detonation Focus Me have already back to wet.
And that's a big investment. That is a teleport. That is the QSS being burned. However, the mid lane turret did fall. Now that will be able to be shoved past neutral, the creep wave. They should have an easier job getting access to that topside jungle. And the pick, almost generated.
Oh, slow. Almost caught the dredge line there onto Steel. Yudapon will just jump across the wall and get himself out of any sort of danger. And now, as you say, Isrus do have a lot more map to play with. Taking down that mid lane tower makes it a lot easier for you to push into the enemy jungle.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like now Isrus is cruising. There's a Fire Dragon about to come up. You have yourself the double crit users in the Gangplank as well as Xayah. You have the 2 AP-heavy targets in the Gragas as well as Syndra. So they're going to benefit a lot from this Dragon. They also have the ability to set up the Baron much easier. Yeah. And I feel like that was kind of the mistake that will make the rest of this game incredibly difficult to play out for DFM.
Well, Isrus will look for their first Dragon of the game in about 1.5 time, but DFM have shown us they're willing to fight around it. At the moment, DFM have total vision control around their own red side jungle and around that Baron. No real wards down towards the bottom side.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you take a look at the minimap right now, there is only 1 control ward in the Baron pit for Isrus Gaming. That's because I think that they're going to prioritize going for the Dragon right now. They're trying to push up bottom lane. They're trying to get into that area. This means that DFM have the choice of either trying to fight or they can trade quickly onto the Baron. They have very good Baron damage. They do have the tank. They do have the turn. We'll see whether this is a situation to get to, because you can see they're very aggressive in regaining control of top side of mid, and they're kind of ceding mid lane, the bottom side of mid lane priority.
DFM fighting for their tournament lives right now. A loss here would knock them out of play-ins. The team that has consistently improved over the last few years in terms of their international performance, coming to the international stage once again, and disappointing, I think we could both say, if they didn't make it into at least the knockout stage. Isrus looks strong at times at this tournament.
And once again, you see exactly what we're talking about. You see that they're sitting on vision right here. They're looking for a pick, and Evie might have just fallen into it.
He's got the Mega Nano. and the rest of his team is on the way. Depth charge gonna land there. Mega Gnar comes out, Steel flashes straight forward onto Seiya. There's the Gnar into the wall, and who got baited with the fight? Steel low, one down on either side already. But the flash forward from Angelus. Gang goes gold and goes down straight away afterwards, where Angelus takes the kill.
And that's just Isurus Gaming being so prepared for how the map state was, setting up over the objective that they knew was going to generate the next fight. It wasn't the Baron, it was the Fire Drake. However, with 2 picks now, they can look to take potentially the biggest objective on the map.
There's no blast cone for Steel if this Baron does get started. You can see Isurus just trying to set up around it. Bugax and Odi will start it. Farsight Alteration comes down, though. Know that it has been begun here by Isurus, and Detonation Focus Me stepping forward. Seros and Udapon, both full mana, both full health, can put some chip damage down across this wall. But are they going to be able to stop it? They're committing. Isurus still on it. Bugax down to half HP. Odi chunked out by the Baron as well, and Isurus Gaming will not commit for it fully. Teleport coming in here by Seiya, but that's just to protect this mid lane tower.
And now you have to go for resets on some of the strongest members. This might actually allow DFM to go for a dragon. However, Teleport is coming in.
Do they know what Angelus is there? The Xayah behind enemy lines. What can he do? He was the carry for the team last time they both met here. 2-0-4, Infinity Edge. Essence River stolen away by Odi, and now Xayah opens up. Steel tries to get onto him, but they can't get onto the backline, and now Steel is caught up as well. The knockback from the Force of Will, the damage coming out, 1-for-1 so far. Isurus take down the enemy jungler, though, and get the Infernal Steel.
But they are very low, and once again, it is against a Ziggs, it's against an Ezreal, so I don't think they can go for Baron. It will cost DFM the Dragon, the Fire Drake. However, the map state should normalize. And you can see this game is on such a knife's edge right now, Medic. No team wants to overcommit into these team fights. Where Angelus, with a very creative teleport, gave him an area to attack from, but this is just a missed smite. And it could have potentially been the full withdrawal afterwards.
Definitely could. You can see Steel caught out at the end. Seiya unable to get as much damage in as he'd want, and Evie a strong front line on the Gnar.
Yeah, and you can see they don't want to chase through that choke point. You know, you're going to have to run through Ziggs mines. You're going to have to go into the bouncing bomb. The continual kite back from this Ezreal, who is now sitting at 3 completed items. So it has to be played at a slow, measured pace this game. However, at every turn, since the early game, it's been Isurus Gaming kind of dictating the pace at which this game could be played. That was the first proactive move we've seen from DFM, and unfortunately it was a stolen dragon as a result.
Right now, Isurus with a 6,000 gold lead. 3 items on their key carry in the form of War Angelus on that Xayah. Ludens and Morello Nomicon still complete on Seiya.
And you can see the difference of having a mid lane tier 1 up versus not up. As soon as that wave is pushed back, full topside jungle control has to be seated. You see the duo system linking up Gang and Steel, trying to get them back into wrestle control, and they can only get it as far as the red buff right now because they don't have eyes on slow. He has the ability to start the fights instantly. You see creative flanking once again coming out. They do also have a Gangplank ultimate here.
Odi getting chased away. Evie with the Frozen Mallet Black Cleaver build here. Very strong in the 1v1. Bugax stunned up. Will eat the oranges. Pops the Cannon Barrage. Evie decides he doesn't want to trade anymore, and Bugax is turning this one around. Evie flashes away. Bugax gets the kill in the 1v1.
What a play from Bugax. That looked like it was going to be another solo kill racked up for Evie. And this just generates another pressure point. If they don't even win the split, Medic, this game becomes nearly impossible to play.
Isurus Gaming are holding all of the cards. Detonation, Focus Me, facing down the barrel of a gun. Elimination from Worlds right around the corner. And now Isurus Gaming will push forward into this red side jungle. DFM have to find something soon.
But there's a control ward in the pit. I feel like this is really sloppy from Isurus Gaming because there's no reason for DFM to enter the topside jungle right now. If you have vision on the Baron, you know they're not doing it.
It's true. That's some Korean League of Legends logic right there. Just take the Nexus for 50 gold. If you have vision on the Baron, you know they're not doing it. I wonder if that ward actually spots the control ward, because the control ward isn't spotting it. So it must be just a little bit too far away. Isurus Gaming not clearing it out as well implies that the control ward isn't aware that the Farsight Alteration isn't aware there's a control ward in the pit. And now DFM know there's no Baron being done. They've reset. We can just go through and get some vision control back in our own red side jungle.
And this is why when you allocate jobs in the morning, you know, it's your job to make the bed. It's my job to do the dishes. You have to have someone's job that is to pink ward the pit. Because otherwise, things like this happen and you look like a fool.
I live with Bedius. I do most of the dishes. Let's be honest. For now, it's just...
It's been spotted out.
The control ward. Yes, there. It wasn't spotted. I checked on my own monitor. The vision wasn't given from that Farsight Alteration. But now War Angelus will clear it out. And Isris Gaming could be a little bit more happy about how they have control over that river.
And the complete QSS tax has now been paid. You can see that Saya's picked up his, Oddie has one for himself, Warangelis has had his for a while now. And this now makes Steel's job really, really difficult.
Yep.
You can grab the Nautilus.
Or the Gangplank.
He has oranges, mate.
He does, but you hope that he forgets to use them, I guess.
Okay, then you can grab anyone in that logic.
You have enough CC on the rest of the team that maybe the QSS has already been used. I mean, that's what you're relying on, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You're hoping for a Gnar or a Wallop
Or a
quickness.
decent timer, right?
Yeah.
The ability to run in, just grab someone, they QSS, you just scuttle back out, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Then you look for it the next time around.
Use the Fracture first and get them to remove that stun and then use the Impale afterwards. There are options for him, but as you say, it's a very difficult road to walk. Rabadon's Death Cap almost complete here on Ceres. Yutapon going for a lot of lifesteal in his Ezreal build with a Bloodthirster and a Blade of the Ruined King alongside a Trinity Force Manamune.
And this is very strange. You can see that the Warangelis has sat in that brush a couple of times now, maybe looking for a greedy Yutapon to continue to push up. Bugax again.
Yeah, Evie and Bugax just trading regularly, but I'm not sure Evie wins these anymore. We saw he lost the last one. He's 2-5. Yes, he's got Frozen Mallet Black Cleaver, so the 1v1 chase potential is there, but he's not out-damaging Bugax anymore.
And I feel like this shouldn't be possible for DFM. Isris Gaming should... Oh, Warangelis takes all of his health from Baron.
Yeah, he's going to have to reset now.
Yep, I think that's a fair comment to make.
Thanks.
What I was going to say is they shouldn't be able to walk in the topside jungle like that. You have Gragas as well as this Nautilus that should be looking to generate picks. They're only walking in as two. And you can see that DFM kind of have no idea what's going on with the entirety of the map. So they're going to be forced to check. Get Warangelis out of that top lane. Sit him in the jungle. Start a fight.
Yeah, actually make something happen. And this is that proactivity we did question from Isris Gaming. Last time the two teams met, it took 39 minutes for the game to end. Here, we saw some good signs from Isris early on, but since probably about the 25-30 minute mark, we really haven't seen Oddie making those plays. We haven't seen them being on the front foot and trying to catch out DFM, rather waiting for DFM to get in towards that.
But you can understand the hesitation. This, after all, is the elimination game for DFM. This will allow Isris Gaming to go through. Might not be in first seed. We'll have to wait on the result of the game versus Splash. Splash should be considered heavy favorites. Although after a hiccup earlier today, anything is definitely possible. And this is, once again, some creative problem solving going on.
I mean, creative problem solving and just standing in every bush on someone's rift. Like, eventually one of them's got to work, right? It worked for Fnatic.
Who here's the negative one? I just need to find out before we continue with the card.
I think it's a mix.
Okay.
I tend to bounce off whatever you're not saying.
So the creative problem solving didn't work. I'm going to stick with it.
Okay.
Warangelis just really wanted to make sure that Evie wasn't going to face check that brush. You can still hanging out there in the bottom jungle. And this will once again allow DFM to be able to push up mid lane.
Oh, DFM. If they go for the Baron, this is actually just mirrored what they did last time. If they start this up, it's exactly what they did last time. They're not going to do it.
It's so hard to chase
last time. So.
Yeah, but this time around, it's so hard to chase through what they have. You know, Zig's Minefield in a choke point is going to be able to control.
There goes Steel. Using the Righteous Glory and the Predators to try and get forward. Wasn't able to find any man. I think it was just the Righteous Glory, actually. Not sure he popped the... Oh, no, he has popped the Predator.
Yeah, boots cooldown.
Yeah, DFM now pushing in mid. Oddie with a flank position, but Warangelis is up towards the top side. He's already at 4 items. Can't really get too much stronger. DFM should just be able to take this tower pretty easily. Isris Gaming not in the right place at the right time, and DFM make them pay for it.
Yeah, this has been a strange game, Medic. That is just completely seating the mid lane as... Ooh. That could have been the fight.
Yep, that could have been it.
That the LJL reps were looking for. You can see they're now in behind Warangelis, and the rest of the team isn't there. Steel could grab him.
So Warangelis has the Featherstorm, has the QSS, has Splash. Steel goes forward. There's the Featherstorm, but here comes Gang looking for the fight onto Warangelis. Catches him out, but on the back line, Isris in there. Look at the damage coming onto Warangelis. He's still alive.
He's dead.
Oh, he's shut down. And Isris Gaming maybe overstepped in the top lane. Evie jumping forward, 2-for-1 trade already. Evie somehow survives on the back line as well. Isris Gaming overstep and Detonation focus me. Pull the trigger, find their mark, and are now looking to take the Baron.
Yeah, they still want to continue. Teleport is available. They should be able to pick up this objective. However, they have to be very concerned with Saya. He still has the summoner spells up and available, but 30-second death time is... Maybe they don't even contest.
Maybe they don't. Slow backing away. Saya and Bugax waiting in their blue buff, but they're not going to be able to go for it. Detonation, focus me, found the pick that they wanted. They'll take the Baron. And with it, they will even out that gold score. 2,000 gold behind, but a Baron for Dead Nation Focus Me.
And Medic, I'm all for creative problem solving, but sometimes you just have to do things by the book. Read the instruction manual, and it says don't split push on an AD carry in a lane by yourself. He has so many tools to get out of this. Featherstorm is used. QSS is going to be used. Flash is going to be used, and he still dies. That's how out of position Warangelus was. And the turnaround damage from the Sigs at this stage of the game is just so high. Isurus Gaming should know what late game Ezreal does, and this is a massively one-team fight for Dead FM.
Incredible stuff from Dead FM. Warangelus overstepped, and they were willing just to find that pick. Now, they have Baron, they've got Double Ocean, Cloud, Elder Drake up in a minute and a half's time. They've only taken one tower this game, but Dead Nation Focus Me are very well in with a shot of winning this one.
And they only need one more team fight. They have Baron, they have Ziggs. One push could end this game. And you can see that the lineup of Isurus Gaming, all of a sudden, much more concerned about it. They're going the safe way through their jungle. They're making sure they're not getting picked. As you mentioned, a minute until maybe the next major team fight, as that's going to be the Elder Dragon coming up. But if I'm Dead Nation Focus Me at the moment, I'm just concentrating on pushing down mid lane. You have numbers on side lanes. You can just look to siege.
That's exactly what they're doing. We talked about it in Pick and Ban 40 minutes ago. Ezreal and Ziggs in a siege comp are so incredibly powerful. If you can get those turrets low enough for a satchel charge, you can just delete them off the face of the map. And now in a 1-4 split, DFM are pushing it.
And finally, Steel's job becomes a little bit easier. It's going to be members diving onto the Ziggs, diving onto the Ezreal, and you can just look to pluck them then. You don't have to overextend with this Baron buff up and available. With limited wave clear coming out, it's kind of Dead Nation's game to kind of lose at the moment.
And it's Isurus's play to make. Early game, Oddie was all over the map, 4-0-2, and then just didn't do anything for 10 minutes, so it felt like they were just apprehensive, not willing to take a fight if they didn't know they could win it. Oddie, with the body slam, goes straight into the wall, and Steel is on the chase. Saya has the QSS, uses it, flashes away straight away, but now DFM have the push in mid. Evie and Bugax are fighting up towards the top side, but now Evie's going to back away and has the teleport to join the fray if he wants. Slow on the back line of this fight, Steel going in, Gang knocks him up, and Slow flashes away, manages to survive the unleashed power onto Steel, pulled back. Warangelus and Saya take down the enemy jungler, but Evie is here in the fight now. Bugax going to join in, Slow and Oddie forced away, Saya going back to base. The inhibitor will fall in the mid lane, and DFM will get the hell out of there.
And even with the kill, they still just can't get in. You can see how hard it is to hard engage onto the Dead Nation Focus Me comp. It's going to be 30 seconds on the jungler, so they won't get the Elder Dragon right now, but they can hold the position in the bottom side jungle and look for an exit pick.
Got to hold the line here, otherwise you lose that Elder Dragon. It's a big objective to go down. 30 seconds left on the Baron. Won't be used for any more pushing. Evie here on a ward.
And the
The thing about that is you then lose control ward spots as well. It makes it harder for you to control the map. Look at it. You've only got 2 people that can buy them on the side of Isurus right now. There were only 3 on the side of Dead Nation Focus Me. Looks like Seros is actually going up towards a last item Void Staff here as well. on the Ziggs will have so much damage. Could go somewhere else as well. It could be Leandri's or Morelos. Oh, he's already got Morelos, so.
And the build looked wonky at the start of the game, but once you get to 6 items,
yeah, pretty strong.
Everything just does damage at that stage. And you can see that the Ziggs has been able to do plenty this game. It's really just the top lane is waiting on that final items. Obviously, junglers and supports, they're going to take a while to get there. And this is where the QSS on Saya just becomes a nightmare. Yep. You don't want to be sitting on QSS as one of the damage dealers of Isurus Gaming. You want to be able to go towards a Void Staff and a Death Cap, but that puts you back in range of being plucked by Steel in one of these team fights.
You look at it right now, he's sitting on 1,300 gold. If he'd been able to pick up a needlessly large rod instead of that QSS, get rid of the Blasting Wand, you then have a Death Cap complete instead of just these small parts of items.
The issue, however, is, you know, with the Adaptive Helm, with the Raincoat being picked up from Steel, as well as the ability to go massive in these team fights.
I've never heard it called the Raincoat before.
That's what it looks like.
It does, 100%.
It's got a hood,
Go back to your
got a
point.
back.
Go back to your point.
He wants a Void Staff.
He does. Definitely does.
Baron started.
Has been started here by Isurus, trying to pull the trigger on that final play. Zealous getting some damage in from the side. Here we go. DFM going in on it. No, the steal from Steel. He lives up to his name, and now DFM are looking for the fight. Gang on the front line, Steel on the back. Here's the flank. Oddie manages to survive for the moment. 1-for-0 trade, but Detonation Focus Me take their second Baron of the game.
And they have access to this mid lane wave. It will just be a reset because they don't want to fight 4v5. No members from Isurus going down. But we take another look at it. Massive damage coming out from the Super Mega. Okay. I was going to say, must have been a little bit of a miscommunication on the bursts damage and maybe some miscalculations due to the big bombs coming across from Ziggs, but it just looked like didn't want to smite that objective.
I think 1,000 health at level 16, I don't think your smite does enough damage, my man. Yeah, it doesn't quite.
Okay.
So, does 900 true damage at level 16. So it's just out of range of Oddie, and then the smite came in from Steel just in time, I guess. They are both the same level.
Yep.
But just one of those really tough ones. In a jungle, in a position like that, it is a 50-50 trade.
Yeah, and different junglers will tell you different things. I was about to bring up the exact thing. Some junglers prefer to actually enter the pit and be able to look at the numbers going down. Obviously, if you're coordinated, you should be able to describe your burst damage that's coming across. Gangplank barrels, you know, maybe a Syndra Sphere.
Sure, but then you have a Mega Inferno Bomb added onto that.
I agree.
It's difficult. It's difficult.
Once again, who's positive and who's negative here?
It's a mix. It's a mix. Right now, I'm positive that this game is continuing. That was the worst segue I've ever done in my life. But let's get back into the matter, because DFM, although they're 3,000 gold behind, that doesn't matter too much right now. They have a Baron buff for a minute and a half. Isurus Gaming, after being well in control of this matchup, have really struggled in the last 20 minutes or so. DFM playing for the late game, as they have been wont to do over the last few international competitions.
And this is now the longest game at Worlds so far. 45 minutes, and we've had some long ones already. However, this just shows the pressure on these two lineups. Isurus Gaming know they can punch the second place ticket and fight for first later, and Detonation Focus Me need to win this game to have any shot of being able to continue their Worlds journey.
Almost out of Worlds. If they lose this, they're out, but now they're knocking on the inhibitor. Isurus Gaming, 5 members strong, defending versus all 5 of DFM. Poke damage coming in from Angelus. Steel stepping forward. Angelus, of course, does still have the Featherstorm. Has a QSS, has the Flash. Summoners across the board. All flashes but the junglers. It could be a chaotic fight if it was to break out, but DFM continue just to poke, just to prod. On towards Isurus Gaming. Steel chunked out a little bit, but it's not quite enough damage to really make him go back. True Shot Barrage comes out, really doesn't do too much. But that inhibitor slowly being chipped away at, down to about a quarter of its health. Evie almost up towards the Mega Gnar. Damage onto Oddie, as you say. Ooh.
And the damage is much stickier from DFM because they have the double Ocean Drakes. So you can see Isurus, once they get chunked out, have to walk back. However, fight.
Evie almost out of Mega there, had to jump away. The inhibitor still stands. 18 seconds on the Elder Dragon. It would be the second of the game for Isurus if they got it. DFM making a beeline towards it.
And very good reset off vision. So Isurus don't know whether they can continue to chase through. However, no wards close enough for a teleport any better than the top tier 2, mid lane tier 2 as well. So this will allow Isurus Gaming to go through mid lane if they want to contest.
Now Udapon has shown that they are around the position by clicking onto Oddie. Slow and the rest of Isurus pushing through.
Good stun.
As you say, Udapon stunned up, but now Will Isrus just accept that actually they can go for...
They're just going for the base.
Do you go for Elder? Do you do this? Is Detonation focus me? Udipon's being left behind. They're going for the base. Isrus Gaming on the inhibitor tower. Udipon is going to take the Elder Dragon, but Detonation focus me have to react.
Can they stop the bases?
Stop. Slow's trying to stop him. Slow not able to get him out in time. He keeps Sewas around. So Gang is there. Sewas low. Caught out by Oddie and Slow. But Sewas manages to get away. The cannon barrage. Not quite enough damage. But
Slow goes down.
Slow goes down. 2 inhibitors have fallen in the base. Pugak's going to steal away the blue buff. 2 inhibitors did fall. Isrus Gaming were able to get what they wanted out of it. And the Elder Dragon did not go down.
And you can see the chase is going to continue because Saya is just going to have to walk away. The air dragon that no one really speaks about. And you can see that Evie also in trouble.
He's in a lot of trouble. He has the GA. He flashes away. Udipon going forward. Saya trying to get away off towards the top side of this, but Evie's going to jump the wall. Saya still has the flash, but doesn't really have anywhere to go. The Elder Dragon goes down. That's the second of the game now for Isrus. And although they've lost their mid laner, although they've lost their support, they have broken the base of DFM, and they have their second Elder Drake.
And for 20 seconds, it was a 5v3. However, due to the minion wave positioning, due to the cut that came through from Isrus and entering the base, there is nothing DFM can do with this time. They might be able to generate a fight while Saya is down, but
Can you
with
hold on?
double Infernal Dragon and a 6-item AD carry, I think you might be able to.
I am not sure that Detonation Focus Me can hold on to this game. You still have 5 minutes left on that Elder Dragon buff. Isrus are getting a huge amount of a buff out of this. Slow is up. Saya's up. I mean, you can just wait out Syndra coming back onto the map, and then you've got 2 inhibitors down.
And I feel like they had to go now. I feel like when Saya was down was the opportunity that DFM have been looking for. Still 15 seconds left. Can they find it?
They're looking for Angela. Still going on the front line. Udipon jumped out. Still now pull back with the Blade Caller. Angela's able to dodge his way out of that, and they agreed with you. They said we have to go now, but now they do not have a chance. Saya's back up, has the teleports as well. And look at that minion wave in the top lane. Stacked up. Bot lane stacked up. It's going to be so hard now for Detonation Focus Me to hold on to this game.
And that should be Baron. Saya is up and available. He has teleport. If you don't respect that huge creep wave top, 2 teleports going to come out, 3 teleports come out, and they just end the game. So you can see they send Udipon up there. This should be enough time for Isrus to once again start up the big purple worm and can still do it one more time.
Got to do it again. He has the flash. There's the blast cone there for him as well. 11,000 HP on the Baron. Control wards not in the pit. DFM do not know how low it is. Isrus Gaming back away, but they've still got their Elder Dragon. Angelus sitting at 500 AD right now on the Xayah. 500 AP as well on Saya. If they catch out someone, all it's going to be is click, click, boom, and someone from Detonation Focus Me is going to blow up. Isrus Gaming go back towards the Baron.
And patience will prevail again. Udipon shows top lane. They start up the objective one more time. It's good damage coming across. They still have to worry about Ziggs.
There's wards in the pit. They're going in. Steel trying to get there, but Angelus secures it. And Isrus Gaming don't want the fight. Steel trying to get in. Angelus opens up onto Steel. Gang jumping onto the backline. They get the out. They got him. It's down. But look at the damage coming back in response. Saya getting in from the side. Evie jumps in with an R. DFM holding on to the game, holding on to their lives. And DFM have done it somehow. The Unleashed power comes out, but is that going to be enough? Saya and Oddie force back. DFM reset. Go back to your base. Defend. The super minions are on your Nexus towers.
So they can't end the game. Whilst it was a 1-team fight, it was not clean enough for DFM, and now they have to worry about the Baron buff when the members of Isrus respawn. This game has been on such a knife's edge, and both team fights, if slightly cleaner, could have nearly won this game.
It's been so close here. Angelus just a little bit too far forward, doesn't respect Gang getting onto the backline.
And didn't have the Featherstorm. QSS does not stop the displacement coming out of the knock-up of Rakan. Sure, you can cleanse out of the charm, but it's still the CC will register. And this is just heroics from Oddie and Saya. Being able to pick up a kill here, popping a GA there. If that was the end result of the team fight, if the Skarner is still alive, it could have nearly been lights out.
And although Saya was low on mana, although Oddie didn't have all his cooldowns, Detonation Focus Me had to respect the double Elder Dragon, had to respect the damage that could come out.
And now an actual 6-item 80 carry enters Summoner's Rift. Gone are the boots. That is so much damage for Angelus. However,
it really is, but like, do you risk it? He's been caught out a couple of times. Do you not want the boots to try and stay safe?
Apparently the answer is yes.
But you don't want the boots. Yes.
Double IE picked up as well. Evie now joins the 6-item ranks.
He still has boots, though. He's still got his Ninja Tabis
okay.
at the end. But we'll give it to you, Spawn. You got close. I know maths can be hard.
And Syndra has just sold the QSS and then gone back and picked it back up.
Yep.
Saya's like, I don't want this item.
But you have to take it.
But I need it.
He was going to kill you. Elder Dragon, the buff remains for 40 seconds. Isurus Gaming, 4,000 gold ahead, but really gold doesn't matter worth a damn right now. Isurus looking for that last outer tower, the last inhibitor tower remaining. Only one Nexus tower left for DFM. Here we go, the fight. You have to feel it's going to start. Bugak's not with the team. True Shot Barrage going to hit onto Angela. Still trying to run in, but the Force of Will knock him back. And now Bugak's can push in that mid. Both inhibitors have respawned, but Bugak's is open to put some damage down if he can. DFM react. They go towards mid. They clear out the way, but now the rest of Isurus will be pushing in bot. It's a back and forth. It's an ebb and flow here for Isurus Gaming. They're just trying to pull DFM around the map.
And Unipon goes in onto Bugak's right now. Has him at half health, however, will not be able to register the kill. And this is just desynced minion waves. Steal. Gang going in. They're trying to get onto slow. They get some damage on Gang on the back line, but here comes the TP in from Bugak's. And now Isurus Gaming can open up. DFM unable to find their mark with the engage, and Isurus will reset. They'll just wait for the next wave to push in, and then they'll go once again. Evie looking for the flank position, has the Gnar, has the flash, trying to get in. The damage coming down onto Saya is monumental as well. Evie jumping onto Ori, True Shot Barrage comes out as well, but DFM have only delayed the game. They've only pushed Isurus Gaming back for a moment. However, now there is another Elder Dragon that is about to enter Summoner's Rift. 20 seconds left on that massive minion wave mid. Has to be dealt with from Evie. And you can see these ultimates from Unipon, from Seros, are doing a great job at taking away half the HP. But it's just so hard to engage onto the lineup right now of Isurus.
DFM on their last legs. No, they'll be knocked out if they lose this game. Isurus Gaming looking for the seed. Here goes Steel. Tries to get on.
He got him!
The Impale. They get him, Spawn! They get him. And now with the jungler down, Isurus Gaming might look for the fight still. Bugak's down towards the bottom side. Doesn't have the cannon barrage. While Angelus and Slow down here as well. But Steel's down to about 1,000 HP. Shielded up for the moment. Evie pushing forward. Has the Mega Gnar coming up. And now maybe Isurus missing the dredge line. Won't go in. DFM looking for their Elder Drake. It would be a third of the game for Isurus if they can steal it. DFM just want the one. Just want this right now. And you can see Isurus giving it up. They give up the ghost of the fight. Detonation Focus Me will fight to their last to stay in Worlds.
And what a game! Steel finally with the Duke runs up to Odi, stands next to him, waits for the QSS to come out, and then just drags him back into the team.
Oh, I believe it was the fracture into QSS, into Impale combo we talked about when those QSSs started to rattle off Spawn. I'm sure someone will have clipped it on Twitter, put it up there. You can see exactly how Steel played around that itemization choice. Now, Baron, 1 minute away. I've said that 4 times already this game. Odi, 11 seconds away from coming back to life. All flashes are up apart from Steel. He won't be able to find that flash engage, and that makes it a lot more difficult for Detonation Focus Me because he has been their key man at getting onto that back line.
And a 55-minute game in modern League of Legends is a thing of mystery. But they've been able to drag this out for so long. And I feel like the burden of execution, if DFM are in lanes, is so much easier to just be able to siege down and chunk out. However, if Isurus can drag them back towards an objective, that is where they could win.
Definitely is. I just want to bring attention to the fact that Odi has got Shurelias here to try and keep his team safe if they get engaged on. And War Angelus is the target right now. Evie knocked back, lockdown, GA has been popped. Can the rest of DFM save him before he falls? The feathers coming out, pull back, War Angelus takes the kill, and now DFM have to reset. It's a minute and a half before Evie even gets back onto the rift.
And I feel like right now, Baron is a bait. It is going to be a 4v5 for a minute and a half. Just march down mid lane, start knocking down those inhibitors. However, DFM are going to go for it.
They've got the Elder Drag, they've got the burn. Odi's coming in from the side. Look at the health on that Baron. I don't think I've ever seen it that tanky. Odi coming in from the back will lock them up with the Scryer's Bloom. They know he's there. Saya's pushing mid, doing what you said, Spawn. Odi trying to delay the ports, trying to delay the back. Slow now pushing forward into the jungle of DFM as they try and escape, get back to their base, try and defend because Saya is on that inhibitor now. And Slow, all you got to do is stop them. All you got to do is keep them around. Teleport coming out. DFM getting back to defend. Saya almost takes it, gets the knockback, but the inhibitor survives and Steel is on the chase. Saya flashes the wall, just about gets out alive. But that is a big summoner burn for the next fight.
It certainly is, and you can see that he's finally sold the QSS and picked himself up a hat. That's why he had to burn the flash early. Don't think he can, however, the rest of the team is coming in to help.
This is dangerous for Bugax now. If Isras take a fight, he's down at half HP. They take the Scuttle Crab, but Evie up in 9 seconds could teleport into any fight that started. And with no inhibitors down and still 3 minutes on the inhib from Isras Gaming, they have the prio. Bugax clearing out the one hit, but here comes Gang. Flash away from Bugax. War Angelus, watch him down towards the bottom side of the fight. Slow going forward, unleash power onto Gang. Isras trying to defend, trying to hold their line, but now here comes Evie from the side. All of Isras Gaming are going to dogpile onto him. He gets over the wall. Can he get to Mega in time? He flashes away, he survives, but DFM can't quite find the knockback from Odi is sublime, and it saves Isras Gaming for the time being.
And Medic, what the bloody hell is going on in this game? This is going to be another Baron picked up for DFM, and these fights are just so close.
It's all on a knife's edge, and you can tell how much it means to both teams. 100,000 gold for Isras Gaming. DFM about to match them 1 by 1. Odi looking for the...
Do you go for it?
You go for it. You gotta go for it right now. You're 58 minutes into the game. Odi looking for it. Still knocked back. The damage coming out from Isras delays it once again. DFM, take a breath. Isras, take a breath, because right now you need to reset. This game has been hectic for the last couple of minutes, but you have to think through your next steps.
And this is a super late game. They go in.
Straight onto Slow. Odi going forward. The damage onto Evie is huge. Halfway to the Mega Nub, but Slow is also chunked out. Isras Gaming can't quite break through the base. Every time someone jumps forward, you think it's game over. Every time someone dies, you think it's done. But neither of these teams are willing to give an inch in this game.
And we're going to have another Elder Drake becoming relevant in 2 minutes. Baron has been started up potentially. No, they're just clearing vision. And unfortunately, with so much of the base destroyed, Udapon goes in.
Gang goes in straight onto Bugax. Bugax suppressed, pulled back. Gang acting as the bouncer, and that's 1 for 1. Udapon jumping away. Here comes the Mega Inferno Bomb, but Odi will pop the stopwatch. DFM resetting, looking for the fight. Going in. Evie with the knives. Only Slow knocked back. Evie falling low. Steal there low as well. Evie goes down. War Angelus from the side. Living up to his reputation as one of the best AD carries in Latin America, finding the pick. And now, in a 4v3, you have to feel Isras will be able to take this Baron.
But it's still the jungler. It's still the 2 poke champions up and available. I think it is still very difficult to go for this objective, especially with Slow in base and Seiya not with the rest of the team. If they go fast, they might be able to stop it.
Gotta go fast. Udapon on the front line here. Steel has a blast cone to jump into the back of that pit if he wants to. There's a control ward in there as well, and Isras Gaming we'll just reset for the moment. Stop time, take a breath. Take a second. Odi chunked out just a little bit, but heals up. Here's Steel. Seros up towards the top side. Almost has the Mega Inferno Bomb. Half health left on the Baron. Udapon getting the damage down onto Slow. Steel looking for the position to go in here. The blast cone not there anymore. Steel doesn't have the flash, and I think they might just give this one up. Here comes the Mega Inferno Bomb. It's too early. Odi secures it. Odi gets out, and Isras Gaming takes the Baron.
Okay, so that's going to be the recall. Mid lane inhibitor is coming up in 30 seconds. Elder Drake in 20. They should be able to get there in time. And you can see that Steel wants to be able to secure the area first. Evie still 10 seconds away and no teleport. Stakes are so high for this game. This is DFM's last chance to stay at Worlds, to do some more damage. And you can see that they're trying to fight with everything to hold on.
I'm nervous here, Spawn. Never mind sitting behind those computers. Never mind sitting on that stage knowing you're fighting for the chance to play in knockouts, for the chance to make it to the main stage of Worlds. What must be going through their minds right now? Isras will have another chance if they lose. If they beat Splice, they'll go through. But Detonation Focus Me, this is their last chance, last resort for them. Slow looking for the flank position onto Seros, but he dodges away from the anchor. No waves really in a position that will cause any bother in the meantime. Evie chunked out just a little bit. Seros down towards the bottom side. Elder Dragon, maybe the target. DFM pushing mid. Evie goes Mega. Oh! He goes in! War Angelus pops the Feather Storm, but straight away War Angelus is caught! Can they get the damage down? DFM find their mark, they find their man, they they've taken one, and now Bugak's pulled back, pops the oranges. It's K for the moment. Evie pushing in onto Saya. DFM maybe too deep. Evie almost into the GA. Mega Inferno Bomb! That's a hell of a lot of damage straight onto the face of Saya, and now DFM are going to push through mid.
And this should at least be an inhibitor, but with a minute on Warangulus, the late game carry of Isurus, they just might look for the end.
It could be it. Isurus do still have the Baron buff. They'll be waiting for their minions to spawn. They can buff it up. They've cleared out the wave. DFM cannot do it yet. The cheers short-lived for the moment because DFM cannot take the game.
But it's going to be at least a second Elder. I don't know whether Isurus can contest this. They're going to have to run back through uncharted territory. And you can see that they want the Elder for themselves. Evie playing goalie. And I think there's some life left in this game.
Definitely is. Evie almost up towards the Mega Nut. Odi looking for the Smite steal. We've seen it happen once already. Look at the damage already on Evie. He needs to get out of there. Goes into the Mega. Steal off towards the top side's very low as well. And Bugak's going to take him down.
Saya's in the pit.
Saya's in the pit. But what can DFM do with this? Gang knocked back. Force of will keep him in his place. Slow down towards the bottom side. Odi and Bugak's up towards the top. Evie jumping forward. Doesn't land the Nut. Only gets it onto Odi, but there's no follow-up damage. Where's it coming from? Bugak's takes down Evie. Gang just about surviving on the backline. Bugak's off towards the side. 5,000 HP left on the Elder.
Warangulus!
Here he comes! Warangulus, the angel for Isurus Gaming. They clean off DFM, and after 63 minutes, they will take this game.
And what a game from both people. But in the end, it is Isurus Gaming that will move on to the Nexus turret.
Isurus Gaming, they knocked and they knocked and they knocked. Detonation Focus Me were not to be stopped, but in the end, Isurus will take the win and go 2-1 in their group.
I can't believe what we've just witnessed. Two teams give it their all on the world stage. And unfortunately, only one can win. It's going to be Isurus Gaming. The last time we'll see Detonation Focus Me at World, but what a show they were able to put on.
In the 5th longest game ever on the world stage, both teams fought with their last breaths. And yes, of course, it's great for Isurus. They can play against Spliceville, #1 seed in the group later on, but that performance from DFM was spirited, it was full of heart. They put everything on the line to try and keep Japan alive on the competitive stage.
And they'll be disappointed, no doubt. They would have thought that that game was so close and they had it after a terrific MSI going 4-2 in groups. And you can see that the crowd showing their appreciation right now. What a match, but you also have to take your hats off to Isurus.
Yeah.
Time and time again, those players were coming in clutch and just scraping and clawing and holding on.
The decision-making in some of those key moments was just sublime. Seeing Odi catch people out, seeing Warangulus with that TP at the end as well.
Seeing Saya flash into an Elder Dragon pit to try and secure a team fight. It was desperation League of Legends at its finest.
Sometimes that's what it takes to get you over the line. Did you count how many Qs Saya hit in the game? Or?
There were a couple in the end. I thought it was going to be slightly slower, Betty.
Just incredible stuff all around from Isurus Gaming. Commiserations, of course, to Detonation Focus Me, who are knocked out, and we won't be seeing them play again today. But there were just so many moments in that game where I saw different carries step up for Isurus, which is always something to me that implies a team that can go far, can really challenge some of maybe the tier 1 teams, the major regions.
And it shows why they're considered a super team where they're from, right? Every single member of that team doing a great job. As you said, stepping up when it counts, coordinated efforts across the board. There were times when it was Warangulus getting caught out and then Saya and Odi rising to the occasion. Bugak's